Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Al Mina, faceconomics concept author. Thank you for joining us. Um, and I'm currently in Iași, Romania, actually. The last time we all connected was when I was in Barcelona, Spain. I appreciate y'all's support and for your continued patronizing our platform, Face Economics. Thank you for joining us. Um, as you all know, our podcast is our platform to promote economic development worldwide, to utilize the social media environment to make sure that frontier, emerging, and developed markets around the world are gaining access to subject matter experts, do-it-yourself type of capacity building initiatives that people can utilize and use within their marketplace. We have a very special and highly dedicated gentleman um, who is, actively promoting the Indian market. His name is Shanker Damodaran. Am I pronouncing this correctly, Shanker? I don't want to
That's right, Elders. Thank you so much.
mispronounce your
Shanker
name.
Damodaran.
Shanker Damodaran. And he is the president of GTC Global. And he and I co-wrote a manual for market entry in India. Okay, and basically, if you've never done business in India before or are looking to consider the Indian market to do business in, I would highly recommend for you guys to go onto our website and purchase your manual, India market entry manual. And also, we're going to be sharing the manual on our Amazon platform. So you have several online stores that you can utilize to purchase the manual. With that said, Mr. Shanker Damodaran is one of India's rising economic development superstars. And that is the best way to emphasize his talent. He is very active in India trade promotion with other countries and is a juggernaut in providing valuable insight into the new India market. Mr. Damodaran and myself, as I mentioned, have recently completed the manual on India market entry for foreigners to utilize. And this is a new concept that we're promoting worldwide so that people can participate in India market entry before they even enter India. Most expats that are entering a new market, for example, or foreigners that is considering to invest in a new market or develop trade relationship simply doesn't have a whole lot of access to know-hows and subject matter experts in that marketplace up until they land in the country. So we're giving you guys a flavor on what to expect prior to your entry to save you time, hassle, stress, and money. So with that said, Shanker, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your capacity with GTC and anything else that you would like for our listeners and viewers, because we're doing a podcast and a video blog simultaneously.
Thank you, Aldous. It's an honor and a privilege to be part of your podcast, which is being broadcasted worldwide with interested groups looking at market entry strategies. And I've been in this business for a while now, where we've been facilitating international companies come into Gujarat and on the larger scale in India. India is huge, and it's important to understand. Yeah, and it's important to understand the various economic, cultural, the talent, and all the rest of it that is important for international developers in market entry to understand the subtle nuances. And we even put together a magazine, which was called Gujarat Now, which is where I'm based out of. And this would go into various trade expos and were distributed to the silver and the gold class visitors, who are mainly international delegates, diplomats, investor groups, bankers, and all of that. So we were giving them relevant information on what was important at that point in time. Things have changed. The whole world has gone digital. So has India gone digital. And with that, we are also in many countries, and I'm one of the associate network partners of a global chain called Global Chamber, and also the Softland Partners, where I help with my dedicated team from various verticals, from chartered accountants to attorneys to other industry leaders, looking at actually supporting the groups in a very personalized, tailor-made solutions. So that's
Perfect.
where I'm at today.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely, fairly unique and very helpful. I think you create so much value, Shankar, that I believe, foreigners should learn, directly from you and connect with you and your organization for, expertise that they can utilize prior to entry. Now, can you tell us briefly about things that are evolving in the Indian market?
Yes, sir. Mainly, like I touched upon in my um, introductory note, it's mainly digitalization that I would see all over the place. The Indian government is pushing for digitalization in various sectors. The sectors being education, healthcare, financial services. And this is leading to an increase in the use of digital platforms and online services.
So this is a fairly new agenda and concept. I take it if there's just starting to roll it out now. Is that the overall strategy of the government for the country to be more digitalized and utilize artificial intelligence, blockchain technology? In the manual that we created, you had mentioned factories of the future, 5G, 3D printing, smart country tech, IoT, and digital twin, just to name a few. There's quite a bit of digitalization going on in the Indian marketplace. So um, the manual that you and I developed revolves so much around the evolution of the marketplace. So what was the strategy behind the manual, in your opinion?
The strategy, one thing we must tell the global audience is that India has got pretty much sectors developed in pharma, in textiles, in automobile, of course, and IT, healthcare, agri-tech. India basically is an agriculture nation,
Right.
but with a in with the coming of digitalization, what's happening is we are bringing all the new technologies, and technology is helping India scale up and go
Sure.
global. And
Absolutely.
that's where we are imbibing all the necessary direction for imbibing all the new technologies from IoT to Industry 4.0, the AI, of course, and the blockchain.
Right. Is this new concept widely embraced within the marketplace, especially with startups, SMEs, and multinational companies? Have you seen these business institutions and even the nonprofit sector, are they embracing new tech and mass communication using social media, in your opinion?
Yes, you see, in India, the IT sector has always been prominent, and they have been providing services on a global scale, especially to the United States. There is all the big groups are already in India, and they have been providing services. So now this has become a natural transition to add AI and bring in the new technologies and have India itself as an IT and manufacturing hub.
Perfect.
So yes.
Go ahead. Did you want to go ahead and finish your thorough thought?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there are manufacturing companies looking at India. Also, because there are two opportunities, the education sector. is quickly the youth, which is 25 plus, the youngest nation almost in the world,
Right.
they are more practical. They are slightly going off the traditional education system and learning quickly and educating themselves into technologies. There is a gap that they are trying to fill in, and they're quick to adapt. And the opportunities are tremendous. Also, looking from an international standpoint, recruiting these newly educated and upgraded uh, practical students
Application.
who are,
Yeah.
yeah, they can be easily absorbed. Number
Okay.
two, they are not as expensive as it is in the United States.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
there are advantages to this.
Okay. Um, with that said, what would you like the world to know about services that are now available in India that weren't available in the past in terms of, supporting foreign direct investment or attracting, tourism into India or businesses from around the world to consider India to hire the labor force. What's different today versus 10 years ago in India in terms of services that are being provided support wise to investors that are new to the market or are considering the market?
Um, I would say the e-commerce is one of the main services. The online shopping market in India is growing rapidly with companies such as Flipkart and Amazon expanding their reach and offerings. So there is an already built-in space of digital platform that the international companies can come in, plug in, and outreach. And the number of users of these digital platforms are only increasing. E-commerce, the online shopping market in India, is growing rapidly with
Perfect.
companies. Yeah.
So
Besides, yeah, please
uh,
go ahead.
it's the market is being cultivated for investors coming in specifically to set up, shop in India that weren't available in the past in terms of, solutions to their needs and anything that would entice an investor to want to invest into the Indian market because capacity is evolving in India and the market is able to support foreign direct investment from any part of the world. Uh, with that said, you mentioned investment IT, destination for, I guess the internet giants that you mentioned, Amazon. Now, in your opinion, what's the current situation with the locals? Are they welcoming investment from abroad? Are they comparing, their wages with other countries that are more developed and the benefits to them in terms of employment? How are they reacting to, foreign direct investment once the investor is operational in India?
Um, the government is pushing for a cashless society. Digital payment methods such as UPI and mobile wallets are becoming more popular. That's just giving an angle to it.
Okay.
Earlier, it was very much a kind of push towards going to US, Europe, job seeking. Now, when you really look at the Indian culture, it's a close-knit group, community-based. They want to spend with their family and their extended relatives, and they find that being digital is giving them the best of both worlds, and they don't see the little bit drop in the salaries matter to them so much.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
fairly important to know, especially if decision maker were to enter India or consider the Indian market. you're saying that they're very competitive in the Indian market when it comes to quality of life and overall salary position. It's not the deal breaker that most societies and countries outside of well-developed countries tend to want to impose on investors. So it's not as combative in terms of wages, which is very important, I would imagine, for an investor to know about prior to entering a market, because I've seen that in emerging and developing countries, where the labor force would like similar wages as other countries that they feel their comparative advantage is at par with other countries. So with that said, it seems to me that India is becoming more competitive in terms of the overall value that the Indian market is providing to a foreign investor. Um, so I think you cover a significant amount of what is important in the heuristics of decision making for company executives to consider the Indian market. Is there anything else that you would like to share, and for the world to know as a prerequisite on Indian market entry? What would you like for executives around the world to know as far as basic steps on how to engage the Indian market? Certain conditions that they should be worry about, and anything that would be of value to a decision maker to uh, be able to make a decision whether to enter the Indian market or not to enter the Indian market, or even to delay entry into the Indian market.
One thing I just wanted to touch upon was, let's say a
Still there? Okay, I think we had a disruption on the signal, but with that said, folks, I hope that you all would consider visiting or researching about the Indian market, uh, and consider India as an investment destination. This video blog and podcast will be available on our platforms on YouTube as well as our podcast. Um, and let us know if you have any additional questions for Shanker. It's very likely we're going to have a continuation for of this podcast, uh, as well as let us know if there's anything that you would like for Shankar to uh, you know be more specific about regarding market entry into the Indian market. Um, are you back, Shankar? Are you able to hear me again?
Yes, sir. I'm back.
Okay. So I was just letting people know to write down any comments or suggestions or questions if they have any additional questions for you.
Yeah.
Before we close off, is there anything else that you want to share with our audience regarding India and how to best connect with you? So there, Shankar. So we're having some signal issues with Shankar's computer, but I believe he's managed to share enough information for everyone to utilize and consider the Indian market moving forward as investment destination. Please look up the manual that I was telling you about earlier. It's going to be available on our websites and on Amazon. We will also share the link and the description of this video blog on our YouTube channel. With that said, thank you for joining. Looking forward to connecting with you again. Take care. Bye-bye.